Once upon a time, in a world full of bacon lovers and ham hoarders, there stood a mighty land called Australia. A place with kangaroos that box better than your gym trainer, birds that scream louder than your ex on a bad day, and borders so protected, even your grandma's dried mangoes would be considered potential criminals. Now, among all the edible threats trying to sneak past Aussie borders, one particular food group has achieved legendary status in getting booted out before it even touches the tarmac: pork. Yes, the smoky, juicy, fatty meat of the gods. You can have it fried, dried, smoked, or barbecued, but if you try sending it into Australia, border security will treat it like it's radioactive plutonium wrapped in COVID. Why? Why would a nation that eats meat pies like it's a religious ritual say no thanks to some imported bacon strips? Well, pull up a chair, grab a snack, but not pork, and let me tell you a story filled with drama, diseases, and a little sausage heartbreak. Our story begins in a sleepy airport customs office in Sydney, where a young officer named Kevin was trained to identify the smell of illegal pork from 17 meters away. Kevin's nose, they said, was more powerful than a beagle with a grudge. One day, Kevin received a suspicious package from overseas. The label read, "Dry fruit, family use, very safe, not pork." That was enough to raise red flags. He opened the parcel, and behold, inside was a lovingly wrapped log of cured sausage with a sticky note that read, "For Cousin Rajiv, homemade pork delight." Kevin gasped. Sirens went off. Somewhere in Canberra, a pork detection satellite blinked red. The National Emergency Group assembled faster than an Avengers reunion. You see, Australia takes its biosecurity more seriously than a mother guarding her last piece of chocolate. The reason? Australia is an island continent with a clean and unique environment. They don't want foreign diseases waltzing in with your Spam can or salami roll like it owns the place. One of the biggest threats? African swine fever. Don't be fooled by the exotic name. It's not a new Netflix docuseries. It's a deadly disease that affects pigs. It spreads faster than gossip in a village WhatsApp group, and once it hits a pig farm, say goodbye to bacon and hello to vegetarian BBQs. And guess what? There's no cure. None. Nada. Zilch. Now imagine this, you're importing some dried pork jerky because your uncle in Melbourne misses the taste of home. That jerky has just a tiny, invisible virus particle on it. You send it through the post, it gets sniffed out by airport dogs named Bruno and Sheila, and boom. Border Force officers in hazmat suits are now confiscating your snack like it's a bomb. Even if the pork looks clean, smells fresh, and has a pretty bow on it, the Australian Border Force doesn't care. They don't trust it. You could tell them it's a sacred family recipe passed down through 7 generations, and they'll still torch it like it's haunted. And if you think you're smarter and decide to hide it inside your shampoo bottle or your teddy bear's stuffing, good luck. Australian biosecurity dogs are trained better than your average detective. They've busted more smugglers than your favorite crime series. There's even a wall at the airport filled with pork smuggler mugshots. Okay, that's a joke, but honestly, it wouldn't be surprising. But let's get into the technicalities. When you try to bring pork products into Australia, whether in your luggage or by post, you're actually violating the Biosecurity Act. You know, that very cheerful-sounding law that could slap you with fines up to tens of thousands of dollars. And don't even try saying, but it's just a tiny sausage. That tiny sausage could cost you more than your flight ticket. What about sending pork products by mail? Nope. Big no-no. In fact, customs officers go through international parcels like your nosy auntie at weddings, sniffing, unwrapping, and silently judging your choices. If pork is found, it's either incinerated, sent back, or you guessed it, used as training material for future pork detection dogs. A few years ago, a passenger from Vietnam tried to sneak in nearly 5 kilograms of raw pork sausages hidden in rice bags. You can almost hear the customs officer shouting, "Sir, this is not rice. This is a pork smuggling operation." What happened? The sausages were destroyed, the passenger faced hefty fines, and somewhere, a barbecue dream died. But wait, what if the pork is cooked, sealed, and preserved like a mummy in a jar? Still no. Australia only allows very specific types of pork products from certain approved countries, and even then, they need to meet intense criteria, like being cooked at a high temperature, sealed properly, treated with preservatives, and blessed by a customs-approved unicorn. Okay, not the unicorn part, but you get the idea. Even commercial suppliers have to jump through hoops. It's like pork goes through an Olympic trial before being allowed on Aussie soil. Now, let's get personal. Imagine you're a grandma visiting your daughter in Melbourne. You want to bring your famous pork pickle for your grandkids. You lovingly pack it in a glass jar, wrap it with bubble wrap, and pray to all food gods. At customs, they open your bag, spot the jar, and suddenly, you're the villain in a pork-related soap opera. They'll ask you to declare it. If you lie, boom, fine, possible visa issues, and public pork shaming. If you declare it, they'll likely take it and throw it into the big bin of forbidden foods where your pork pickle will sit beside someone's illegal mango chutney and 3 eggplants that tried to escape inspection. So, what's the moral of the story? Don't bring pork. Don't send pork. Just don't. Australia may love bacon, but only the locally produced, disease-free, paperwork-approved kind. But what if you're a rebel? What if your craving for pork floss snacks knows no borders? Then be prepared to face the music. Not only will your meat be seized, but you may be subject to penalties, be asked to leave the country, or have a permanent mark on your record that says, attempted pork smuggler. Imagine explaining that on your next visa application. Still not convinced? Here's a list of some porky products people have tried and failed to bring. Dried pork floss snacks. Pork dumplings frozen in ice packs. Homemade pork curry in Tupperware. Bacon stuffed buns. Pork sausages in Pringles cans. Ham slices rolled in aluminum foil. Mystery meat declared as fish. Each one ended up in the forbidden fridge, never to be tasted again. So next time you're tempted to bring pork into Australia, remember this. There are 2 types of people in this world. Those who follow Australia's biosecurity rules, and those who end up in airport documentaries with their faces blurred, explaining how they thought pork was just a type of vegetable. Be the first kind.